My name is Shelby Dellery, and I'm currently attending Nicholls State University. I am applying to the Dietetic Tulane Internship, and I'm from Kenner originally, and now I live in Covington, Louisiana. I love, and I have been, this is a new hobby, but making things from scratch. I've always wanted to learn how to make bread, and I've been making dressings and just pancakes and all that from scratch, and it's been really exciting, and I can't wait to do more of it in my new home. And another hobby that I've been doing since I was like 13 is photography. I love taking pictures, I love the art of it, and I also dabble in film photography, which is a newer hobby in the recent years, and I plan to do a darkroom in my house very soon in the next year, which I'm really excited about because I just love the whole process of taking pictures and then developing them. Something that sets me apart from other candidates is my experience. I have a lot of experience in the community from volunteer work, and I also have a lot of experience in child care and just overall being in a care position. When I was 19, I got my first job as in that position at a mental disability home where I learned a lot about tube feedings. Although I couldn't do it at that time, I observed it, and it was a very knowledgeable experience for me at that age, and it really opened up a lot of doors for me, just really fine-tuning what I wanted to do in life. I started working as a daycare teacher, which I love that, and I got a lot of experience with that, and I am recently a nanny for an amazing family, and I also am doing marketing for a company where I take the pictures and then I will post the pictures on the social media platforms. So I've been exposed to a lot in the social media world, the marketing, and promoting a business. I believe that's going to help me a lot in the future, so I'm glad to have all of these experiences, and I look forward to gaining more knowledge with all of them. I want to be a Tulane dietetic intern because it resonates the most with me, and even if I lived somewhere else, I would be very interested in the Tulane internship because of the community aspect of it. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of people's reason why they picked this internship, and it just speaks to me so much that like I can't wait to get into the community, and I feel like I'm gonna get exposed more to the community and with the Tulane internship. And I also know that Tulane has an amazing reputation. My brother went there, and I've always really kind of wanted to go, so I'm very giddy and excited about being a Tulane dietetic intern. Very exciting. And I also met Ellie, Friend, and then Jordan from the Children's Hospital. I was shadowing them over the summer, and they were so knowledgeable. They felt so comfortable and confident, and it gave me so much hope because I know that they came from the Tulane internship, and they told me so many great things about it. And I'm very excited that all the things that I wanted in an internship, they pretty much described it and made me feel like this was the perfect choice for me. And I hope to gain out of it just more awareness about what's going on in the community, and being able to get myself out there, gain confidence, and just feel comfortable in my practice. My expectations with the internship, I expect it's going to be difficult in ways of being pushed and challenged, but it's in a positive way. It's like finally practicing what I've been learning and finally being able to use what I've learned into practice. So challenging, I'm expecting. I'm also expecting to just gain a lot. I feel like a lot of dietitians find their passions and find their voice and find their where they're going to be after the internship during it. And I'm excited to have that experience and feel just that comfort and knowing this is where I'm meant to be, and being a dietitian is where I'm meant to be, and knowing and honing in exactly the kind of dietitian I want to be, because I know exactly what I want, but I've heard so many people say that they changed what they wanted through the internship, and I'm excited for all of the possibilities with that. I was 24 when I applied to school for the first time. After high school, I wasn't interested in college right away, and I wanted to really think about more about where I wanted to go. And even when I applied, I wasn't sure I wanted to be a dietitian. It wasn't until I gained a little bit of momentum in school where I was asking myself, can I do this? And I was, my biggest inspiration at that point was being the people that helped me when I was in treatment, the dietitian there at the time. I wasn't as receptive, and I wasn't as into what she was telling me. So I feel like I have the upper hand of just knowing if if a adolescent has an eating disorder, that they're not gonna like me probably, and just having that experience of being in their shoes made me just wonder if that could be me. And as I've gone through these couple of years, I'm in nannying and being with children more, I'm kind of honing in on like the preventative aspect of eating disorders and having good relationships with food, and how important it is to do this as a child and to educate children and start from 6 months, like start as soon as they're eating food. And it's about your vocabulary, it's about what you surround the dinner table with, and what kind of conversations are you having about food and energy in your body, and experiencing it from a family that I'm working with. The benefits are just amazing, and the kids eat everything, and they have a great relationship with food, and I am very interested in helping parents get to that point with their kids and letting them be the educators. So I want to work with kids, but mostly secondhand. Like, I want to help the parents be able to teach their kids, because that's a beautiful connection to make, I believe. And I did not have that growing up. I had a mom who had an eating disorder, and it was very challenging for me to understand my hunger cues when my mom wasn't eating, and it really made me not thrive with my relationship with food. It took years and years of work, and I'm just all about the preventative. So that is why I want to be a dietitian, and just to make that difference and to make that impact, because it sets a child up for the rest of their life, and I feel like that is an incredibly important thing to do. After I complete my internship, I have a few ideas. I might work for WIC or a program in Covington, North Shore, or South Shore area that I can work with and gain more experience in helping families and helping mothers and soon-to-be mothers and then children. I think that's a great place to start. And in 5 years, I want to keep that momentum going, gain more experience, and who knows, I could even have my own practice where I'm making my own little program, and with my marketing skills, maybe that's a possibility. And I see myself thriving with this maternal child dietitian status. I wonder if that will change, but I'm very much on the path of that. So that's where I expect to see myself in 5 years, and I think a lot of doors are going to open through it, and maybe end up working with like a team of people and team of dietitians, and doing workshops with baby-led weaning, and doing workshops of picky eating, and really getting involved in the community and participating as much as I can in community events, and just kind of spreading the word that food is fun and food is nourishing and passing the message from parent to child. I would say the most I felt uncomfortable in a working situation was when I was working in retail. Where as a cashier, you are checking out so many people, and just having someone make an inappropriate comment, making you feel uncomfortable. And in those moments, my natural reaction is not anger. It is very calm, and then it's almost like slow motion where my brain needs to like slow down the process and think what the best course of action is. Do I need to get a manager? Can I handle it myself? And most of the time I can handle it myself. Most of the time I feel like de-escalating is the best way to go, and that is something that I'm pretty good at with child tantrums to adults. So I would typically use de-escalation and kind of removing the issue, and if it gets to that point where I need to get the manager, I would. So in an internship situation, if there's a patient or if there's something going on, I will do my best to handle it myself and then de-escalate the situation, remain calm, collected, and if I need to get my preceptor, I will do so. And that is my natural reaction to things. Avoid confrontation as much as possible unless it's absolutely necessary. The way I prepare for a major exam is completely different than when I was in high school. I know myself now enough to prepare ahead of time because I am not a crammer. I am not a pull-an all-nighter. I go to bed at 8. I wake up at 4. I don't have the capacity to study even past 5 sometimes. So because I know that, I wake up early. And waking up early, my brain just like works. Something clicks for some reason when I'm reading the material. It clicks. It makes sense. I feel like when the world's like asleep and I'm awake, for some reason I just can really study well in that environment. So I wake up as early, one time 3 a.m. and just study, get what I need done, do little by little and break it up. So if I have a test, I actually do have a test on Tuesday. So this past week, I'll wake up, I'll go over the PowerPoints first, and then after I go over the PowerPoints, I write them because it helps me remember them better, even if my handwriting is super messy, just getting it on the paper, and then that's like the next step. And then the next step is to go look at the textbook and kind of like read in more detail, because it kind of breaks it down, like the PowerPoints or the textbook broken down, so I can kind of get more of a connection with the textbook. And then once I kind of look over the textbook and all the tables in the textbook, I'll go back and make sure if there's any math, really get those formulas down and really get to practice all the assignments that we've done in class, and just piece it all together in the end and do like a final review. And I've noticed it works so much better than cramming. It works so much better to prepare little by little. I don't recall too many situations where I was treated unfairly. I think because I don't hold grudges and it's really easy for me to let things roll off my back. And the only thing I can really think of is when I was working in the daycare. I was 21, so I was pretty young. I wouldn't say I was like inexperienced, but I was new to the job. So I was experienced with children, but in a teacher role, that was new to me. So I accepted criticism all the time, like when time to go outside and all of that, to a point where sometimes it would be like I was the only one receiving it. So maybe it was because I was young, and I think that's the only situation where I can remember where I felt like the other coworkers were not being treated like I was. And it wasn't bad, it was just suggestions more than they were getting suggestions. So, but I don't think of that as like a negative thing because I did learn a lot. But there were times where I felt very capable and I trusted my ability to run the classroom myself, and that I didn't always need to be guided, I guess. This past fall semester, I was working on school. I was working 2 jobs, and I was looking for a home, and I found a home. I had to put the home together, and I was in 2 weddings, so I had a lot going on. I know how to manage it I break up different to-do lists in each category of my life: house stuff, school stuff, and then I even do friends and family and relationship, because that's very important to balance out as well. And I kind of make little to-do lists, and it could be even as specific as don't forget to text your friend about her surgery that she had, because when you're just going and going and going, you forget certain things that you should probably check up on. So I wouldn't say that I love doing it all the time, that many things at once, but when it comes to a busy day, I kind of secretly do like it, but I'm trying to slow down a little bit because there's so much that I put on my plate because I think I like it, and then I know that I need to rest. So I would say a mix between like thriving and knowing that I need to maybe slow down sometimes. So I'm working on doing that, and now that I'm home and I'm settled, I am able to go outside more, read more, do independent study more, and it makes me a lot happier to have balance. So balance is my goal. In terms of a work day, I love being busy in a work day because I feel like in my rhythm, and I feel like it goes by so quick because you're just in your rhythm, you're in your groove. I can't imagine having like a really slow job. That's why I work with kids, because you're always on your feet and you're always busy and doing something with your hands, and I kind of thrive in that environment. So when I was in high school, I hated working with people. I was horrible at teamwork. I studied at NOCA and I did media arts, and we had to do these projects where we had to do like film and photography projects together, and 17-year-old me did not want to share my ideas, and I didn't want to work with people. That was just a time in my life where I wanted to be the writer, the photographer, the director, the actor. I wanted to do it all. But since college, I'm completely different. I value teamwork so much now. There are several times where I have been working with someone that had a completely different idea, and now I kind of am very open to that because it can bring more knowledge to me, and it's a very positive experience for me when I'm working with a group now. I'm lucky, I like all my classmates, so that might be why. But I've had a very good experience working in group projects through the last 2 years of my dietetic program at my school, and I learned a lot with working with them, and there are definitely times where we don't agree, but we managed to very politely and nicely resolve the issue, and I learn a lot by being open and letting go of that control and that need of control, and I applaud myself for being able to do that. Coming from where I was as a teenager, I have grown a lot since then. Okay, well, those were all the questions. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you so much.